Hey everyone, welcome back to Eric's Everyday Watches. As always, if you like this video, if you find it helpful, please do me a favor, hit the like button and consider subscribing. Today we're looking at this Cadisen watch, model 8200P. Now it's available online from AliExpress for around $100. You can also pick it up from a gray market seller such as Amazon for around the same price. The packaging it comes in is simple but effective and quite honestly nicer than I expected. There is this white outer sleeve which slides off to reveal a dark blue cardboard box with a photo of a lid that's cut into a triangle shape. Outside, the box has a suede feel to it and we find the Cadisen logo printed on top in metallic ink. The lid seems to be held shut with some sort of magnet system. Inside we have a protective piece of foam along with the usuals. A microfiber cloth, an owner's manual, a warranty card, unsigned of course, like I said, the usuals. The watch is also securely wrapped in plastic, which I have already removed. Both the case and the integrated bracelet are made out of 316L stainless steel with a very distinct brushed finish to it. The case is mostly brushed with only a small area of high polish which is visible when viewing from the side. There are 4 integrated notches on top of the case, almost forming an X pattern. There's also a sharp downturn to the lugs, and this would normally provide a really nice fit if it wasn't for that integrated bracelet attached. As far as fits and finish, I never thought I'd say this, but the edges on the case, specifically the edges on bottom of the case, are the best part about the watch overall. They are smoother than the edges on top of the case, and those are smoother than the 4 notches on top of the case forming the X. Then there is the bracelet. That has the sharpest edges of the entire watch. The outside edges, the inside edges, all of these links are just a little too sharp. This is the sharpest bracelet I have ever handled, and that's a shame because overall it actually looks great. On the back of the watch, there's an exhibition screw-down case back, which is covered by a mineral crystal. Someone recently told me that they love any chance they get to peek inside the engine room. I love that. And while this may not be the most decorative movement ever, it still makes taking a peek inside fun. Now, on the outside, we have text that reads 10 meters water resistance, sapphire crystal, 8200G, and Cadisen. Inside that case back, we have the Miyota 8215 movement, which has been made since 1977 and is found in a lot of micro brands because it's easily attainable, it's a low cost, and is considered an entry-level workhorse movement. Now that movement has 21 jewels, it does hand wind, but it does not hack, and it is rated with an accuracy of -20 to +40 seconds per day. It beats at 21,600 beats per hour, and it has a 40-hour power reserve. Now in my everyday use of this watch, it did turn out to be one of those where I was able to hear the sound of the router when I wore the watch. The crown at the 3 o'clock position is 6 millimeters in width and approximately 3.5 millimeters in depth, and it is a signed crown with the Cadisen logo on it. It is octagonal in shape, which seems kind of fitting given the very angular shape of the watch overall. Now it is a screw-down crown. The first position adjusts the date, with the second position adjusting time. The second hand does not hack when you pull it out to adjust the time. The date is printed black on white, and it is small, but it's still legible. The indices at the 3 o'clock position has been shortened to accommodate for the date window, and it makes it feel more integrated on the dial. What this watch really has going for it is style, and a lot of it. Cadisen lists German designer on the website for this watch. What exactly that means, I'm not 100% sure. Is that someone who has experience designing for a German product design firm? Or did Cadisen have one of their employees move to Germany and now that person works remotely? Or maybe it's a designer who had some family members immigrate from Germany 70 plus years ago. And if that's the case, then maybe it's me. Oh wait, If it was me, I would not have made those edges so damn sharp. So it wasn't me. This watch has obvious similarities to the Tissot PRX, the Formex watch, as well as others, but I give Cadisen a lot of credit for not doing a direct homage to any one specific watch. The dial in this watch has a lot of 3D depth to it, and there's a slat wall pattern running horizontally. There's a gradient color that gets darker from the outside and lighter towards the center, and also a nice sunburst effect, which casts really interesting light and shadow mix on the slat wall pattern. The matching inner color ring has a white minute track printed on it, and the applied indices are polished and are filled with lume in the center. At the 12 o'clock position, the indice has been doubled to draw your attention to it. Under that, there we have the Cadisen logo applied with the name printed below it directly on the dial. Moving down the dial at the 6 o'clock position, we have the words automatic water resist 100 meters printed directly on the dial. The pencil-shaped hands have a high polish to them with lume in the center, and those are filled with blue lume while the indices glow with green lume. Overall, the dial has a very eye-catching aesthetic to it. It's clean and has a good number of light and dark elements balancing it out, and it feels like it really works with its angular case and its heavy directional brushing. So let's talk about the metal bracelet. It is an integrated solid link bracelet, and it's 26 millimeters wide at the lugs and tapers down to 20 millimeters at the clasp. It is this thick, chunky, angular slabs which look, quite honestly, fantastic, and it definitely has lots of wrist appeal. Now, I wish my comments could stop there. Unfortunately, there's more to say about this bracelet. The first link on either side is this large single link which continues the same angle of the lugs but doesn't actually tuck under. And this creates a much larger effective lug-to-lug distance of 57 millimeters. Now, it feels like it fits on my 7-inch wrist until I look at it from the side. Another small gripe about this bracelet is it doesn't actually have the arrows to indicate which direction to remove the pins from. I've never seen a bracelet not include those arrows. On the plus side, the signed butterfly clasp is fully milled and does have double pusher safety buttons. Unfortunately, there are no micro adjustments, which means this either fits you or it doesn't. It's that simple. For the life of me, I don't understand why companies do this. Only about 10% of the population actually wears a watch to begin with. Why would you intentionally limit your target audience to below 10%? As you can see, I am one of those people who could have benefited from some micro adjustments. But apparently, I am not the potential customer the Cadisen is interested in. Now, in everyday use, I noticed gaps in between the links when I wore it. It made the bracelet feel a little hodgepodge, more like a prototype than an actual finished product. The gaps were large enough where I could see my wrist through them. Now, this could potentially be a result of the fact that the bracelet was a little tight and I needed what? I needed a frickin' micro adjustment for a good fit. So let's go over the specs for this watch. We have a sapphire crystal, the Miyota 8215 movement, a diameter of 40 millimeters, a thickness of 12 millimeters, a lug width of 20 millimeters, a lug-to-lug distance of 49, and this is key, an effective lug-to-lug distance of 57 millimeters. So let's wrap up by going over the pros and cons. For pros, we are big on style on this watch. It looks fantastic, and it looks like it's worth well over a $100 price point. There's a sapphire crystal. The dial has 3D elements plus gradients and a sunburst. It is highly legible, and the display back lets you see into the engine room. For cons, the bracelet, it just has these sharp edges on it, and the clasp has 0 micro adjustments. And perhaps most importantly, the effective lug-to-lug distance is at 57 millimeters. So my personal take on this watch is I think it has some killer looks and some really good specs to go along with it. It is so close. But even if I could get past the sharp bracelet and the effective lug-to-lug distance, without some micro adjustments, I am simply not the potential customer for this watch. This has been Eric from Eric's Everyday Watches, reminding you to buy the watch that you love and don't pay any attention to what anybody else says or thinks. This is your watch collection. If you like this video, if you find it helpful in any way, please do me a favor, hit the like button and consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next video.